Like giant stone monoliths, pods of sperm whales sleep vertically in the water column. A totally otherworldly presence, their massive bodies floating in suspended grace. Our oceans are filled with nearly 100 species of cetacean, warm-blooded, air-breathing mammals like bottlenose dolphins and orcas and humpback whales. But sperm whales are among the strangest of this group. Sperm whales are the largest toothed predators in the world. They live in tight social groups and are one of the most widely distributed marine mammals on the planet. They live anywhere there is deep water, from the poles to the equator. They venture deeper than almost any other mammal, plunging into the dark abyss in search of their elusive and giant squid prey. They dive so deep their lungs collapse, and yet they can stay underwater for nearly 2 hours. As they hunt, travel, and raise their young, sperm whales can be heard communicating with other members of their group. And they can hear each other hundreds or even thousands of miles away, because sperm whales are louder than any other animal. Their clicks are so loud that they can easily blow out a human eardrum. Some say they could even vibrate a human body to death. Freedivers who interact with these whales are completely at their mercy, hoping and praying they don't get annihilated by sound. And their clicks aren't just loud, they're incredibly complex, leading some scientists to believe sperm whales could have a language more sophisticated than our own. Sperm whales have haunted our imaginations for generations, spurring nightmares in sailors of centuries past, with their impressions immortalized in literature by Herman Melville's Moby Dick. A creature feared, revered, and long misunderstood, sperm whales have luckily survived centuries of intensive and brutal hunting. And now they're slowly beginning to reveal the secrets of their mysterious world. "1,200 meters below the surface, absolutely no sunlight penetrates. This zone of the ocean is completely bathed in darkness. Here, pressure is 120 times that of the surface, a pressure so high it would kill most creatures. But this is also where a primordial battle takes place, a battle between sperm whales and their giant squid prey. No person or camera has ever witnessed such a hunt, but sperm whales are commonly found with circular scars from a giant squid's serrated suckers on the end of its tentacles. The indigestible beaks and other body parts of the giant squid also turn up in the stomachs of sperm whales. To reach this darkest of hunting grounds, the sperm whale fills its lungs with one final breath and begins to plunge. Their bodies are well adapted to this extreme environment, where they spend about 90% of their time. It's not only giant squid that bring them to such great depths. They also eat deep-sea sharks, octopuses, and cuttlefish. The stomach of one sperm whale was even found to contain a species of dogfish that lives 3 kilometers down on the ocean floor, making sperm whales one of the deepest divers of the animal kingdom. But getting their massive bodies so deep is a complicated process, especially since they're naturally buoyant. To deal with this, sperm whales have evolved something completely bizarre, a mysterious substance, the one that gives sperm whales their name. Spermaceti oil, which fills much of the head cavity, is normally warm and liquid, but when the whales dive, it's thought that the cool water solidifies it, allowing it to act almost like a diving weight to pull the whales down. This helps explain how they can physically get down there, but how can they survive it? As they descend, the pressure becomes so high the whale's lungs begin to collapse. At this point, the ribcage hinges closed around their collapsing lungs, squeezing most of the air into their trachea so that there's less gas exchange in the lungs, protecting the whales from nitrogen buildup. To compensate for not getting enough oxygen from their lungs, whales have a much higher concentration of oxygen-containing molecules, hemoglobin and myoglobin, than land-dwelling mammals. Having about twice as much hemoglobin as humans and 10 times as much myoglobin means that the whales are essentially equipped with a built-in oxygen tank, even when they're not breathing for more than an hour. But that's not the only thing helping them stay supplied with oxygen. They also have clumps of blood vessels near their brains, called retia mirabilia. These vascular nets help regulate blood pressure and seem to keep the brain well supplied with oxygen. Meanwhile, the heart rate slows in a process called bradycardia, slowing all other physiological processes so the body doesn't consume as much oxygen. That lower heart rate also limits gas transport around the whale's body. And this is critical because of a problem known as decompression sickness, aka the bends. When humans descend while scuba diving, nitrogen from the air dissolves into our tissues. If we then ascend to the surface too quickly, this dissolved nitrogen will expand into bubbles in our tissue, a situation that for us can be extremely dangerous or even fatal. For a long time, scientists thought whales must be immune to getting the bends because of their physiology. Their trachea is solidified by extra rings of cartilage.